All right, guys, welcome back. It's day one of Theros Beyond Death. And while you know or probably can figure out, I'm mainly a draft guy. But I feel like it's really important for us to, since they don't offer draft yet on Arena, to get in there, do a sealed or two, start to learn the cards, really set the foundation, learn what's good, see where we're wrong. And then 88 hours from now, just a mere 88 hours from now, 89 hours, I guess, we can start some traditional draft Theros. Excuse me, I don't like to spend 2,000 gems either because I feel like we're trying to milk this account along and see how far we can take it with very little investment. And so wagering 2,000 and having to get 6 wins out of 7 to get our gems back is that's asking a lot. And so, but I'm willing to do it, see what we can learn here at Theros, really start to learn these cards, learn the mechanics, learn what's strong, learn what we're right about, learn what we're wrong about. So let's get fired up. Let's see. Cross your fingers. Let's see what our first rares are going to be. Ready? Let's go. Two of our first rares are dual lands, which is great if we're looking to do some constructed on this account eventually, but really not helpful when you're building a sealed pool. We do have Underworld Breach. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. It's the cost of it. Pretty powerful card. At the beginning of each end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. Okay. Treacherous Blessing. I've played this already. It's really, really great. Drawn 3 cards, but I did lose a game just by casting enough spells and not be able to finish off the game in time, and not using a removal on your own spell feels kind of dirty. You may sacrifice another enchantment. If you do, search your library for a creature card and convert a can. It costs equal to 1+ the sacrifice. Fun card to build around in constructed. Probably not a great card here in sealed. And then we've got Nyx Lotus and Devotion. None of these cards really. Let's see how this card works. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of each end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. Okay, so I assume that means Underworld Breach is going to go to your graveyard, and then you can bring it back next turn, and then so that's going to be expensive to make that happen. So really, I feel like our rare suite here is really bad for sealed. That's just my opinion at this point, looking really bad. So let's hope we got some good uncommons or what we can find to build a deck that will navigate us through where we don't just give up 2,000 gems. Alright, so I'm going to get this down to where we can take a look at them. I don't know what you guys have looked at so far and what your level of knowledge is. So let's just go through each of these cards. Sentinel's Eyes. You know, it's an okay aura. A nice filler that keeps coming back. Gives you +1/+1 in vigilance. Not a great card, but it's something that can trigger auras and that kind of stuff. Flicker of Fate is a really fun card. You've got to have the right creature enchantment to make it work. Indomitable Will, another good filler. Leonid of Lost Pride. Always got to have a Cat Warrior in each set somewhere, seems like. Exiling a card from opponent's graveyard is not irrelevant. Okay, Banishing Light. When Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent. Okay, good removal. Dreadful Apathy. So there's a couple of good white removal. This card gets double strike whenever you play an enchantment. It's a good card. It's a decent card, especially if you've got a ton of enchantments. 2/4 Nyxborn Courser, not great unless you're really relying on some white devotion somehow. Hero of the Winds, great in a heroic deck. I don't know yet if we're going to have that. Sunmane Pegasus, good card, tough to deal with. Daybreak Chimera, decent 3/3. Rumbling Sentry doesn't do much for us. So let's just pull down the cards let's just wait. Obviously the strong ones here. Banishing Light, Dreadful Apathy. These are all playable. Sunmane Pegasus is nice. Daybreak, we could make another flyer. So in blue, Chain to Memory. Not exciting, not an enchantment. Whenever enchantment is in the battlefield, target player puts the top 2. Okay, we probably don't have a mill deck. Any blue deck would love to have at least one Stern Dismissal. Okay, 2 Omen of the Sea. That's good. Okay, kind of a trick. What was that one? The 1/2 flyer that used to flash in and get -2. Hilarious is a good, interesting, really interesting design. Enters the battlefield, tap, and it creates a 3/2 reflection. Basically, he's just there staring at the reflection until the reflection dies, and then he'll untap. So you're getting 5 power, 5 toughness for 3 mana. Pretty good. Here's your counter. It counters a creature enchantment spell. Draw a card, discard a card. Memory drain. Okay, here's one of the cards I like in the set. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under you control, Triton Wave Rider gains flying until the end of turn. So if we're looking at blue-white, we've got 2 flyers here. We have a couple of good enchantments in white. We've got a couple of good enchantments in blue, at least here early. So that's a possibility. We can bring those down. I don't see great stuff in white, or blue for that matter. Black, Grim Physician. When he dies, target creature and opponent controls get -1. We have 3 Mogi's Favor. Okay, +2, -1 would be nice. With 3 of those, it would be nice to find a way to get black into our deck. +2, -1, you can obviously use them to pump the right creature, or kill off a creature and you can return them. Agonizing Remorse doesn't seem great. Okay, we also have a Mire's Grasp. So we've got some good removal here in black. Temple Thief, we have 3 unblockable Temple Thieves. Unblockable by enchanted creature or enchantment creature, certainly not unblockable. We've got Elspeth's Nightmare, which is decent. Or inevitable and hopefully would at the beginning of your upkeep. So that's an interesting card. You can put it on one of theirs and put it on their best creature, and then they're going to have to decide if they want to sacrifice that one or something else. Couple of Farika's Libation. Not a great card. You could play it, obviously, but I'm not a huge fan of anything that allows them to choose what they're going to sacrifice. Scavenger Harpy is fine, playable. Treacherous Blessing. This one's dangerous. It does draw you 3 cards, but then every time you cast a spell afterwards, you're going to lose a life. So you really need some life gain. Now, Drag to the Underworld is a great removal spell. So in black, we have really good removal spells here. We've got 2 Drag to the Underworld. We've got Inevitable End. We've got Nightmare. We've got a Mire's Grasp. And we've got 3 Mogi's Favors that we can return. Okay, so black seems like something we, at least as I look here initially, looks to me like something we want to get into if we can. If we have playables, we probably won't play the Libations. We'll play this Blessing if we've got a way to get rid of it. Drag to the Underworld's great. Okay, let's see what we've got in red. Discard a card, draw a card. Thrill of Possibility. Making a Return. Underworld Breach. This card here, it's hard for me to know. It's hard for me to understand if this is going to be good or not. Well, I want to play it And maybe it is, and I'm just dumb, which is fine. That's part of why we're doing this. Learning the set, finding out which cards are good. I mean, obviously, let's take, for example, we play Myers Grasp on something. It dies. We have Underworld Breach in play. So for 2 and then 3, exile 3 cards, we could play Myers Grasp again, but then Underworld Breach is going to be sacrificed. Huh, we'll have to see. Alright, so Underworld Rage Hound attacks each turn if able. If you can escape, and it pumps up 1. Dreamstalker Manticore is fine. Maybe better if you're playing a lot of stuff on their turn. I don't know that we have that ability. I guess some of our removal in black is instant, which could be interesting. Hero of the games, whenever you cast a spell that targets, so an heroic creature. Impending Doom. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and attacks each turn if able. When enchanted creature dies, Impending Doom deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Interesting card design. You could put it on them and make them attack. Obviously block with a creature and kill it, and they would do 3 damage. They would take 3 damage. Irreverent Revelers. Destroy target artifact, gain haste. Stampede Riders. Gotta have the 4. Flummox Cyclops. Whenever 2 or more creatures attack, he can't block, so the Cyclops becomes confused, I suppose. Okay, so not great stuff in green. It would be nice with the black removal we have. Let's hope that green really has some nice cards. So, Nezian Hornbeetle. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control another creature power 4 or greater, put a +1/+1. Our black creatures, we have a few +4, but we really don't have many black creatures. Okay, we've got a Return to Nature, which would be more removal for us. Setessan Training, if that's how you say that. When it replaces itself, so you draw a card and the creature gets +1/0 and trample. Grove Dancer. Whenever a land card is put in your graveyard from anywhere, you gain 1 life. A great way to fill your graveyard. Great way to help us get our Mogi's Favors back. Chimera. Another good escape creature. Omen of the Hunt seems great. It helps us go get a land and also scry. Inspire Awe. Prevent all combat damage will be dealt. Enchanted creature, okay. Probably not something we want to play. When Nyla's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +X/+0 till the end of turn as your devotion to green. Then we've got big. Okay, so we do have a Slaughter Priest where we can sacrifice 2. Okay, we got a Lyra and we've got a Pantheon if we want to splash. We've also got Nyx Lotus. We might have to build some kind of crazy multicolored deck. We've got 2 Unknown Shores. So if we just look at our black, which is good. That gives us 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. And they're not really that good. Just to be honest, they're not really that good creatures. We do have a bunch of auras. And so do we have anything that cares about devotion in this? Not really. Can't see us playing the Lotus. So our options are green, where we would bring in the Hornbeetle, the Return to Nature, maybe the Training, maybe the Grove Dancer, the Chimera, the Hunt, the Huntsman, and that's it. Those creatures to me are underwhelming. There are some fun things that it can do, but definitely underwhelming. Okay, so I don't think, at this point, I don't think we're pairing green. Red doesn't have much. I mean, Underworld Breach, but do we know if that's even a good card? Could be. Could be amazing, but I'm not sure. We could obviously play mono black, which seems terrible. It might be more fun to try to put blue in here. If we've got the Triton Wave Runner and we put a Mogi's Favor on it, we're getting a 5/2 flyer the turn we do that. And we have, what other enchantments do we have? We have the Mire's Grass, we have the Nightmare, we have the Inevitable End. We don't really want to play these libations. We have the Treacherous Blessing. If we have the Treacherous Blessing, we need a way to get rid of it or return it to our hand. So does blue have any way to do that? Not really. So if we went with blue, I'm just trying to look at all options we have here. If we went with blue, it would probably look something like this. You know, take a couple libations out. Feels the curve nice, but it doesn't feel like our most powerful combination. It feels like white to me, like white is where we want to be. That gives us, first of all, it does give us at least, oh, how fun would it be to flicker fate our Treacherous Blessing. This really only gives us, it gives us no way to deal with Treacherous Blessing, but I guess we're just gonna alright, so if this is what we built here, is there any other white card we want? Maybe Chimera. Now, Hero of Winds looks like a great spot for Mogi's Favor as well. That makes us a 3/3 flyer, although it takes a lot to do that. Maybe we would just rather have the Chimera, which makes a 3/3 flyer. Alright, so how does this deck look? Honestly, it doesn't look great. We have decent removal. Our creatures are rough, but I think that's part of the problem with not getting very good rares in this. A couple of dual lands makes it hard to is there a way that we can get this card in? Okay, we've got a Temple of Deceit already. I think we're going to try to get it in. This might be greedy, but If you control a god, a demigod, or, well, we didn't get any of those. So, we don't need much white, and we don't need it early, so I feel like... Do we put one of these in, or do we put a... Okay. I'm not a huge fan of these kind of cards, but I'm getting greedy and I want to play staggering inside. If I can just draw one card off this, I'll be happy. Alright. So I don't think this is a great deck, but we've been through the building. Let's go play around, and if it's terrible, we can always come back and start over, make some adjustments, and kind of see what we want. I wouldn't mind to get into blue. I do like having two omens, Omen of the Sea, but there's just not quite enough other than the Wave Riders to lure me into blue. Alright, let's see how it goes. Here we go. First sealed round. Theros Beyond Death. I have no idea if I built that deck correctly. Really, there wasn't a clear path that I could see that was like, that just said, here, build it this way. And so if you guys see something different, or a card I overlooked that we should have gone with, or a different direction we should go, leave a comment, and that'll help me know, you know, exactly how we can learn from this. Okay, not much early action, and our deck doesn't really have much early action. But if they play something that's... Okay. We've got our favorite of Iroas. You guys don't mind if I mispronounce everything in this new set, do you? Okay. Good card. I like Omen of the Sea. Like I said in the building portion, I would have loved to use the blue. We did have two of those. Would have been fun. As long as it's not your turn. So this is Naiad of the Hidden Coves. As long as it's not your turn, spells you cast cost one less. Okay. We could use a land to get our Sunmane Pegasus out there. Indomitable Will pairs really nicely with favorite of Iroas. So he's got 4 mana open. Are we willing to waltz into whatever he has? I don't think so. Okay, we might just play a Temple Thief and pass at this point. If he's got a counter for this, he's got a counter. Okay, here we go. So this is the problem that Arena's been having with connectivity. I assume we're going to crash out here. We'll have to really quickly restart. Hope we don't lose our progress here. Let's see what happens. I don't know if we're in a game still or not. A little bit awkward. A little bit awkward to know, even if we've been timed out or crashed out, or if we're losing this match. Give me a second here. I think I'll quickly restart it and see what happens. Okay, guys, we somehow made it back after 7 minutes of nothing. So I'm not sure if our opponent's here. I'm not sure what's going on with the arena. Let's just see what happens. Frustrating, I guess, the new set. Either more people are playing now than they expected, or they weren't ready for all this, but all kinds of laggy, crazy, buggy today. So let's see what happens. This sealed may crash and burn, which wouldn't break my heart because that's a pretty rough sealed package we got. But let's see what happens. This is going to be really boring content. So while we're here, we might as well talk about some of these cards here. Omen of the Sea. We're not playing in our deck, but I think you could play this in multiples. And there's the blue card that returns an enchantment to your hand every upkeep. And so returning this, getting a scry 2 and draw a card every turn is just makes the game a whole lot of fun. I can tell you that. I've done that. It's a whole lot of fun. I'm not sure about this Naiad of Hidden Coves. I guess if you've got a lot to do on the other person's turn, then this card could be nice. In our hand, we've got this Favorite of Iroas. I've seen this routinely go off, and so, I mean, anytime it's your turn and you're attacking, I mean, look at the options we have. We could put Indomitable Will on it, make it a 3/4 double striker. We could put a Mogi's Favor on it during our turn, which is going to make it a 4/1 double striker. There are plenty of ways. There are plenty of pump spells. It's not going to dominate a draft by itself, but it definitely gives you options. Temple Thief is just good filler. There's so many enchantment creatures in the set, and so many creatures that again end up being enchanted. Having one of these in play and just kind of beaten down is fine. Again, not going to win your draft, but fine. Sunmane Pegasus, I do think, is a good card. It's almost unraceable. Makes it really hard for a opponent to keep up, to beat you. You can pay 1 and a colorless, 1 white and a colorless. So I don't know if our opponent's here or not, but we'll find out. My guess is they're not here. But you can pay 1 white and a colorless to give it Vigilance and Lifelink. If you enchant it with it, in fact, enchanting it with Mogi's Favor seems pretty good. 4/2 flyer with Vigilance and Lifelink. It's going to be really hard for... Oh, they're here. Okay, so if we attack with this and make it a 3/4 double strike, obviously it would play well through the Hidden Codes, but they may have something else, and so I think we'll just do that this turn and see what happens on their turn. Okay, Brian Giant in play. That's going to be a great target for Alright, let's see if we know what we're doing here. They could have the 1 blue that sends our creature back to our hand, which is fine. Eventually we're going to have to get that out of their hand. Okay. Wish we could draw another land. We'll drag that brine giant to the underworld. If we'd had another swamp there, it would have been really nice too. Okay, this is a card that is going to be really hard to beat. It's got flying lifelink. Whenever you draw a card, it gets +1/0. Whenever you attack, you draw a card. They can discard a card to give it hexproof until the end of the turn. Alright, let's see if we can Mogi's favor them out somehow here. Enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. Ah. Okay, we should have put 2 Mogi's favors on our favorite of Iris and just make them, because they're gonna gain. Okay, so I'm gonna banish the Captivating Unicorn. I should have looked. I wish it would have tapped a little different there. Okay, so if we play life, we play Mogi's on here. They have to block. I think they have to block anyways. Alright, that's one way to get rid of that ridiculous card. Alright, and that was a ridiculous wait and some glitch there in Arena, but we got win number 1. It's really hard to get by that card they played there. Luckily we had the right answers to it. Alright, let's get into round 2. Let's hope for better things here. So that blue-white flyer that he had there is I can't remember the name, but it's definitely a bomb. Something you want to get when we get to draft. That's, as all these cool kids would say, a windmill slam. If you see that one, you just take it and you move on. Alright, we've got some action here. Looking forward to seeing if we can do cool things with Flicker. Not really sure what we would do at this point, but we can obviously flicker our dreadful apathy onto something cooler. Alright, we're going to start with Temple Thief. This entrancing Lyra. Liar. The entrancing Liar is a really kind of cool design card where you can tap it and tap anything and just keep it tapped. Okay, so this card here, is it something that we want to inevitable end? And so they're allowed to put the top card of their library near the graveyard. That's going to fuel all of their escape, and so maybe it is something that we want to. And it is an enchantment creature, so we can block. Okay, not the most efficient removal, but if there's one card out there you want to get rid of, it'll do a job. Hoping he plays another enchantment creature and we can just get the Temple Thief beat down on. We've got a decent amount of removal in hand here. Let's see what they come up with. Speaking of decent amount of removal, if we had one more land, we could play this and just tap it and save what we have. We also don't want them pumping their other stuff, so I think we'll just drag this to the... I'd drag it to the underworld. Eventually he's going to play something we can't get rid of. Okay, that's not it. Unless he enchants it. Okay, so the one thing he could have here, I think, is the green that gives it +0/+1 and has it fight another creature. Which is fine. If he has that, we will flicker, would possibly flicker whatever thief he tries to fight. Could put Indomitable Will on it as well. Okay, so Nessian Boar. This is a card that we haven't seen yet. All creatures able to block the board do so. Whenever he becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller draws a card. Okay. We are just going to hope. Okay, Siona, whenever it enters the battlefield, look at the top 7 cards. You reveal an aura card from among them. We know they've got something in hand, probably that fight card. Okay, this allows us to try to tap down Siona. If he's got a pump spell, then it won't work this turn, which is fine. Okay, so no attacks. We're okay. Maybe he's got a way to remove Dreadful Apathy, which is why he's putting a trample on the board. I guess we'll find out. Untap the Lyra, yes. Okay. Alright, 1/2 flyer, another thing they cannot block are thieves. No blocks. We'll tap down the captain. We'll untap. We will tap down one of the humans here. We'll cast Mogi's Favor on the other one. Which should win us the game. Although he did put a card there to try and gain a life, which would have kept him alive. Something I didn't think about. Alright, we got it. On to game 2. I mean 3, whatever we are. Alright. Somehow. Alright, so we spent our 2,000. We're getting 600 back at least. Only need 4 more wins to get our 2,000 back. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so our grindy little do-nothing deck is somehow got us 2-0. Not a bad start. We had a little Wizards of the Coast grinding, but that's okay. It's a new day. Well, we got a lot of removal. We got removals for their first 3 things. I guess let's see how it goes. Be nice to get a planes. Okay. Inevitable End is an enchantment, so I wouldn't mind. In fact, I would love to play Favorite of Arrows first. Inevitable End, their first creature. Okay. No biggie. Gotta be careful to flicker this when they try to exile it, because yeah, I think we'll get greedy. We'll give him a chance to block. Obviously, if they had an instant green to kill that enchantment, they could and keep their Pegasus alive. I think. Alright, and we're punished for being greedy. I don't think we want to drag to the underground the glory bears, but we do want to get the Forerunner. I guess we'll make him. Mogi's favorite requires you to exile 2 cards. Oh boy. Big boy. So when that dies, you're going to return an enchantment card. Currently they have that Dreadful Apathy. So he could return the Forerunner, 5/3 trample, or the Dreadful Apathy. I think we'll let him, if that's what he wants to do. Oh, he's going for the 5/3 trampler, okay. Alright, we'll wait to escape that. Oh boy, now this card here. So this is a really good rare that probably should be mythic. It's got flying and lifelink, and it's got constellation. Whenever you cast an enchantment, you create a 2/2 white Pegasus, and all white Pegasus have, or all Pegasus have lifelink, and so unfortunately we're going to have to take 8 here. So far from in his sealed, he's got the Archon of Falling Stars, Sunmane Pegasus. He's got some really nice white cards. We're going to try to get rid of it here. If he's got some way to save it, then we're hosed. Okay, so I think we'll make him decide how bad he wants to keep that Archon of Grace, because I don't think he can race it. Maybe he can. I mean, this card's just broken. It's going to be really hard for us to beat this card. Especially when he flickered it one time. Now he's got a Pegasus that could block our Pegasus. Yeah. This is looking like it's going to be difficult to be our first. We're in line for our first loss here, I would say. Nothing embarrassing. They've got, that's another great card. They've got a really good green-white deck. Voracious Typhon, just a good card. Oh, here we go. This is where, if there's ever a time when Treacherous Blessing could save us. It's actually gonna, let's see, do we have enough mana to do this? No, we don't. Okay, we're taking out this. I wish we had Devotion to cast this Chimera and attack with Lifelink. But we don't. Oh, say goodbye. That's alright. Good game. That was too good for us. This card here is one you definitely want to look for to get into. I mean, it's a no-brainer. To get into about any deck, you can get it in. The Flicker of Fate saved him. He might have won anyways, but that was a big moment to get the Flicker of Fate. If the green Saga card coming next also would have been really good. Uh-oh, we got a black screen. We got a black screen. We gotta hope we can get back in. Alright. Alright, we've lost part of the client here, showing how many. Let's go back home here and see if we can. Okay. So we're back in. We've got 2 wins. Alright, we're taking on Ursa Minor. Oh, look, our first. Oh, we haven't seen our blue-white enchantment. Did I take that out? It's got to be in here. Alright, we'll keep this. I like this hand. It may go down miserably, but I like this hand. Oh. Speaking of our blue-white enchantment, just like that. So, we might slap down on Thief if they've got enchantment creatures and just see if we can get through for 1. I feel like if we draw 1 card, it's probably worth it. So if he plays another enchantment creature, I think we'll give it a shot. It may not be right. But I just want to connect once, gain the life, draw a card. And we'll build from there. We'll see how it goes from there. He might have Staggering Insight in his hand. Alright, now with mana open, and he clearly had an instant, I don't know if that's the right move now. I'd rather play it when he's tapped out. So I think I'm going to attack here. And just play a second Thief. It's funny that I said we hadn't seen our blue, and did we have the enchantment? All of a sudden we've got all the stuff we need to, that we haven't been seeing. Okay, now I feel pretty safe. I mean, Actually, there is one blue in the set that will return a creature enchantment to opponent's hand, so I'm gonna wait again. I just don't want to risk it. We've got to connect at least once, I feel like, to make the staggering insight worth it. You can see, I mean, the last couple games have been a really good example of how much of a pain Temple Thief could be. We won the, not the last game, but the one before, because we were able to attack through every time with Temple Thief. Alright, so my guess is this is a really powerful card. Eutropia, the Twice Favored. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under you control, put a +1 counter on target creature, and that creature gains flying to the end. So if it's allowed to stay around, it definitely will be a problem. I feel like he might have Flicker in hand, though, when he just throws that down. So I think we'll attack first. If he's got Indomitable Will, then that's fine. We can banish it afterwards. He'll get one counter on Life's Bounty. Okay. That's fine. That's actually fine. I want to get rid of this. Let's play our other thief as well. Get rid of this Eutropa. Still got to connect with Staggering Light, which I feel like we're going to. But I'm just a little wary. Again, there is a 1 blue mana instant, I believe, that returns opponent creature enchantment to their hand. So we will try a Banishing Light on this flyer. So, Threnody Singer. You could certainly have another one of those, but he wouldn't be able to kill one of our guys because it's a 1/3. Obviously, he can give it protection from the color of your choice till the end of the turn if he wants to sack that. It is a good blocker for him, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, he just gave it protection from white. I think we'll attack with both. Alright, we're still holding out to be able to get a Staggering Insight going. We'll give this Temple Thief +1 and Indestructible. Alright, we got him down to 10. Now there is a white board wipe in the set as well. I think it says something like anyone who has a creature with 4 power or greater, draw a card, and then destroy all creatures. So that would kind of stink for us, but we are the only one currently with a creature with higher than 4 power. I mean, we were the only one with... Okay, 2 cards in hand. This is a blue card I really like. Anytime you cast a enchantment, it gains flying. Man. He's got 1 more card in hand. Well, I will feel comfortable. I probably just waited too long on this staggering insight, being too cautious. They'll probably give him a chance to draw something that could get us. Man, that card again? I mean, this card is just really hard to beat. Really hard to beat. And it's not an elemental, so it can block our thieves. I think we'll go ahead and exile this Wave Rider. Yeah, this was looking real good, and then he played the Dream Trawler. We are just probably losing this. Dream Trawler, Creature Phoenix. Whenever you draw a card, he gets +1. Whenever he attacks you, draw a card, and they can discard to give it hexproof and tap it. So he's about to gain life, draw cards. We basically can't win this, I don't think. Although we'll send ourselves down a dangerous path here. Do 1 damage to try to kill his flyer. Seems terrible. If only there was some way we could race him. We're gonna have to get crazy here. We're going to open ourselves up to all kinds of blowout opportunities here. Waited too long on the staggering insight, probably. Lesson learned. There's no way to get enough cards out of his hand that he can't give it hexproof. 2 white and a colorless. Okay. We have no choice now but to try it. He's going to thirst for meaning to see if there's some way to stop this staggering inside. He's going to... Alright, let's see what we can get here. We probably should have just put our Mogi's inside on it to get more damage. I don't think we can mill him fast enough. I mean, this card is just a game winner. Splashing for this. He did not reveal an aura, so he whiffed. Possibly. But he drew another card. Doing more damage to myself. Doing more damage to myself. Alright, should we get greedy and reattach Mogi's favor? We'll take one. I mean, I don't know what he has. We might as, you know, we're getting crazy here. What's the worst thing can happen? He's got something to stop our life game here. This game's over. Maybe over anyways. All right. Looks like he's gonna exile my Temple Thief. Alright, he's at 16 cards, I'm at 17. We can outrace this, because every time we cast a spell, it costs us life. Thanks to this treacherous blessing. I'm not sure about this card. I guess since we drew 3 off it, it's the only reason we're still in this. Let's see if he goes bottom. That would be great. Be great for us. Kind of doubt it. After looking at the 7 top cards for an aura earlier, he's got to have something good in those top 2 cards. Okay, 2 top. That's bad for us. And actually, if he draws one more card, he just wins the game. Yep, Dream Trawler, y'all. Get it in your deck. Alright, good win. Good game. Alright, I felt like we were in a decent spot there. It doesn't really matter. All the removal you can get if they've got the Dream Trawler. We really need one more win to get to 1,200 gems. That way it won't feel like we took a huge hit going from 2,000 down to 600. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get one. So far, we've seen a lot of really powerful blue and white cards in our 3 or 4 games here. Okay. And our Temple Thieves haven't been able to get it done. Okay, this is our first, I think this is our first red-green experience. Alright, we're just going to see if we can pressure. Okay, this card here is going to be a just really good way to make sure you hit all your land drops. Okay, this creature cannot block our Temple Thief. Oh, Infuriate. There's a card I didn't know was in this set. 1 red, target creatures +3/+2 until the end of turn. Alright. We got burnt on that one. I don't know if Mogi's favor is where we want to be, but let's see. Alright, blown out by Infuriate. +3/+2. Alright, this one might be over quick. Alright. Interesting that they sacked the spider. They must have plenty of other good stuff in hand. We're going to need to draw some good removal here soon to be able to keep up with this. That's why they sacked the spider, because they had the Omen of the Dead. Yeah, that's too good. That's too good to beat, I think. No blocks here. That would have been nice. I could have flickered the Harpy when they were returning the Endless Web. I could have removed that from their graveyard. These Mogi's favors pretty much doing nothing with these 3 powered creatures in hand. This is going to give them a spider. We could use 2 Mogi's Favor to remove this 1/2 spider, but I don't think that's a brilliant plan. This guy seems to have a sweet 3-color deck. A lot of action. Yeah, I think we're just dead. This Wanderer did all kinds of work for him. And, yeah. Everything's got trample, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12. We can block 1. Yep. We're dead. Oh, wait, does it give it? Yeah, other creatures. Alright. Two wins, not ideal. But that's our first foray into Theros Beyond Death sealed. We have to wait. When we started, there was alright, we got 3 packs of Theros, so where does that put us? 6 packs of Theros to open. So when we started, there was 88 hours left until draft, and so we're now at 87. We'll wait patiently. Like I said at the beginning, if you've got any comments about how I built the deck, if there's things you would have done different, I don't feel like we had a really strong pool. You know, no excuses. You still got to navigate through and try to win as many as you can, but I feel like our pool was a little weak. The rares weren't good. They included 2, dual lands, which is less than ideal when you're building a sealed pool. And then we didn't even use our other rares, and so maybe we built it wrong. But we saw a lot of powerful blue-white cards, and we saw a really good kind of green enchantment escape deck there at the end. It blew us out with a red that now we know is in the set. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is just the beginning for Theros. I'm excited to start drafting this. If there's a need, if there's a want, a desire, leave a post below, and I'll try to do another sealed before they roll out draft, because it is going to be 3+ days until they get to the draft portion. So thank you guys for coming here, Old Goat Gaming. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys again soon with more Theros content. Thank you.